people who dig what we did, because it's a very dark satire, superhero show. And the people who got all the little quips and just the little things that we did all the way through it. There's a lot of Easter eggs, as they call it, throughout the whole thing. They love it. And the people who don't really get it, they don't get it. It's kind of like wrestling.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's jump into the oh my God moment of the week. So, Dynamite starts off with Tony Khan. He's the CEO and the head writer and the chairman and head of creative and all of those things of AEW. And he was so excited. He was over the mic, kind of shaky because he was fired up. He wanted to tell everybody, hey, he's been a fan since 2002. And, hey, the inception of Ring of Honor leads to here 20 years later. He now owns Ring of Honor Wrestling, and he has the rights. And so before we go into the rumors of what it may be, there's some rumors of what AEW is going to be pegged as within the AEW umbrella. We'll get to that. But just initial thoughts. Vince, what do you think about this acquiring of Ring of Honor by Tony Khan?
Bro, I gotta be honest with you. I don't think nothing of it. I mean, come on, bro. They shut their doors in December. They were out of business. But here's my question, bro, because listen, man, I've been this way my entire life. I know Paige is this way. Bro, at the end of the day, here's what I look at. It comes down to business. So what I'm looking at is obviously there was an investment here on Tony Khan's part. I'm curious to see how Tony Khan parlays this investment in dollars and cents. To me, that's all that matters, bro. How are you going to, whatever you spent on this company, how are you going to make an investment? Is it going to be the library? Are you going to get an ROH show on TBS? Are you going to use the ROH talent to get the TNT TBS ratings up? How are you going to use this to make money? That's my question, bro. That's the only thing I'm really interested in seeing.
So if I'm not mistaken, Vince bought WCW for about $4.5 million, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Five.
About $5 million.
I would have bought it for $5 if I knew he was buying it for $5. Bischoff would have bought it for $5 if he was buying it. And I'm going to tell you, this is my conspiracy theory. This is how Vince won the war. That son of a bitch who sold it to him, I can't remember his name now.
Brad Siegel?
No, Brad was not the guy. It was the guy who came from Warner Brothers. Chris, I can't remember his name. Whoever his name is, he cancels wrestling, cancels it, and Bischoff, because Bischoff was buying it for $50 million. $50 million. I know these numbers. I was there. $50 million, and he's going to take all of the contracts. Got to be another $35 million. Easy. Just because of Hulk and Goldie and everybody. So they've say it's $25 million. He's taking all of the risk, taking it all away. And this guy, Jamie Kilner or something like that.
That sounds right. Yeah.
This douchebag says, Brad, he's buying the company for this, but you gave him 10 years on TBS. He goes, well, it's the highest rated show that we have. Let's call it 70 million, okay? They're going to get. And he says, no, we're not going to do that. We're canceling wrestling. Whoa. Bischoff's like, hold on. Give me a month 2 months to Bischoff did not want to be on TBS or TNT. He wanted to take it to wherever he could that was other than there. And Gilder says, no. We're just going to, in Kevin Nash's analogy of it, we're just going to burn the place down. We don't want the money. But he'll pay $5 million, take $5 million from Vince. So this is what I think happened. And this is how Vince inevitably won the war. He probably paid that son of a bitch $5 million. And then gave him $5 million, win-win for Vince. Because now WCW is gone. So I'm hard-pressed for anybody to tell me any other story. Maybe you got $1 million. He got something. Because why wouldn't you give Bish another month, 2 months? He had the money. He had it all. And he just went boom. And I'll tell you, not for me personally, because always my career was going to end in the WWE. Good or bad. Good or bad. That's where it was going to end, because that's where I grew up. WWWF. That's where I was ending my career. No one could talk me out of that. When this happened, I felt so bad for the crew. The guys who've been doing that job, some of them, Moses, my buddy Moses, 23 years he worked for that company and worked his way all the way up. All of a sudden, his job's gone. Like, that's what really bummed me out. So either way, Bishop would have paid $5 million in a heartbeat to take that catalog and go put it somewhere else. Why didn't he get the option? Never did.
Yeah, great point. Yeah, and to transition over to and to bridge that over to Tony Khan. I don't know how much he bought it for. There's numbers out there right now that's talking 30 to 40 million. Again, I don't know how much it was, but that's the number right there now out there now that's circulating around. To Vince's point, Paige, how does if it is 30 to 40 between 30 and 40 million, how does he convert a profit from that?
No way. There's no way. There's no
That's a
way.
lot.
There's no way. No way that it's worth, not the catalog, nothing. It's not worth $4 million. But here's what it's worth though. First of all, I gotta tell you, I loved Tony Khan's friggin' excitement. You listen to the people? Did you watch that? Those people, forget the wrestling fans. I've been to every friggin' arena in my life. Those people are even better than ECW fans. Like, they are the best fans I have ever seen. They are so passionate. They were cheering him, screaming before he said anything. They didn't know what he was going to say. So right now, and this is what makes it valuable, wrestling is must-see TV. Everything else is DVR'd. Wrestling is and it's really not, but it's considered like real sports. Like, you got to watch that game because you don't want to watch it tomorrow. Yeah. You want to watch the game right now. So people will sit through commercials. And to even make it better, they do the little screen capture. This is another thing. Maybe he could do that. That's what I would think. Right now, he's got 4 hours of television. Is it 4 or 3? 3?
3.
3.
2 for Dynamite, 1 for Rampage.
Right, but Rampage might turn into 2 because that's how it started. It was 2 hours for Raw, for Nitro, and then it went to 3. And then it went to 2 hours over at for Thunder. I thought all that was way too much wrestling,
I agree.
Differently, who knows? But he didn't pay no big money for it, dude. I know because we contract out to do stuff and what they pay. So they ain't throwing the money away on that. They might on some of this top talent that's come in, but they wouldn't be the first to do that,
So along those lines, there's some talk out there. There's rumors that it could become the developmental territory for AEW. What do y'all think about that?
Go ahead, Vince.
I mean, I don't know, bro. You know, again, Chris, it really comes down to what the guy paid for it. You know what I'm saying? And not knowing that, you really don't know if he's going to get the most bang out of his buck, if it's a developmental territory or not. So it's just really hard to say, not knowing all the facts. But I mean, I guess they could use a developmental territory. I mean, there's no doubt about that. But man, bro, he's going to have to really increase management. I don't know how one guy's going to do all this. I mean, this is a big undertaking, bro. So I don't know.
No, Vince is right. I don't know how one guy, you know, is going to do all that, you know, and Vince was at the top of the list. There's a whole team of writers. Whether Vince changes at the end or not, there's a whole team of writers. So I don't know. He must
I can
some kind of plan though.
Yeah, I can see that working, not necessarily being a developmental, but I think if it was used as like an NXT type of feel to it,
right,
I think it can have its own identity to it. If it was an NXT feel to it, and you can still bring top talent, you bring some newer talent in, but have them work with some older talent, just like the NXT structure is. I think in that way it could work.
But Chris, the only thing you keep talking about this, and bro, I speak for the casual fans, I always do. Bro, you're talking about the same fan base. You're talking about the same. They've got to go beyond that fan base, bro.
Well, they need to start doing that with the Top Show.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I mean, everything that you're saying is okay, bro. That's great for the AEW crowd. You gotta go beyond that, bro, at some point.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll get there because he's a fan. Tony's a fan. So let's go to the Brawling Down Memory Lane, fellas. So who had the darker character? We never saw this in WWE. We saw Sting and Mark Callis go against each other in the WCW ring, but we never saw Sting versus The Undertaker. Even there was a time where they were together finally in WWE, but WWE still decided to branch off and have them be in two different matches. Never saw it. Seems like we'll never see it. Who was the darker character, Sting or The Undertaker? And do you think that we should have seen this in a WWE ring?
Yeah, as far as it, definitely Taker, the darker character.
Yeah.
No, he went up into the rafters and changed all the stuff, and still strong as ever in his 60s. I don't really know anybody who can say that. You know, consistently, like Sting he has become not only the anomaly, but like I'm just blown away by everything Sting does at this point. And I said to him when I was at Darby's day off, where he jumped over his house with a Jeep. He jumped over his house. I was there, Sting was there, and we talked for a while there. You know, I wouldn't call this character dark. I think and I wouldn't call it light. I wouldn't call it upbeat. It was an amazing enigma, man.
Yeah.
You know, Scott Hall was the one who came up with that look to Sting when he was looking for something different. And he said, why don't you do something with, I don't know the exact verbiage, but Scott Hall was the one who came up with that idea. And then Stinger, he was done with that old character. And I never saw it as dark. I just saw it as an enigma and the franchise. You know, character, man. You know, so but Taker was dark. He's done a lot of things. He was sort of comical, you know, the thing in the beginning, not comical, but you know, where he was it was like a character like everybody had in the 80s. And then he turned it into some really cool stuff, man. You know, and he was almost like Jericho to a certain, or I should say, he was doing it before Jericho was. He kept changing the Undertaker, you know, and there was a lot of really cool versions. But even when he was a badass biker, you know, you could call that dark, you know. So I he was the darker of them, and I mean, who had a better run than Taker? You know what I mean? Nobody. Nobody.
Yeah, agreed. Vince, do you think that we should have seen Sting versus Taker in the WWE ring? Never got a chance to see it.
You know what, though, Chris? I'll be honest with you, bro. Even at that time, though, they were both past their prime. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I just, man, if we could have seen the best of them, absolutely. But seeing them when they were both beyond their prime, I mean, you know, bro, it would still be really special seeing them in the ring together. But, I would have hated for it to be sloppy or slow. I mean, bro, they would perform out the wazoo. But, bro, Father Time's Father Time. So I think by the time they got to the same company, I just think it was a little too late, man.
Yeah, I think we would have been distracted by the bells and whistles that came with that as far as their gimmicks are concerned. But at the end of the day, there is some performance, there is some physicality with the performance. And I think that could have been, that could have been an issue, to see and to watch for both of them as far as their capacity is concerned. Taker versus AJ works really well because AJ did a phenomenal job really accentuating the positives of The Undertaker and helping him throughout that match. AJ had that ability. If he threw a Sting in there or something like that, they both, their better years are behind them, but actually we're starting to see a revival of a 3-year-old Sting almost. But for the most part, his better years are behind him. But yeah, I mean, I think Sting is my all-time favorite. A lot of people know that. And people always ask me, did I want to see Sting versus Taker? And I say, after Sting lost to Triple H, to me, it was just done. I didn't want to see him at Mania against Taker because that would have been another loss to Sting because Sting wasn't going to beat Taker at Mania. So I really didn't have that interest after Sting first came. So let's get to the low, bro, ladies and gentlemen. Let's land the plane, and let's end with Vince McMahon. He is rumored, and with his 76-year-old self,
not a chance,
to return to the ring against Pat McAfee, ladies and gentlemen. Vince, why is this even considered, other than bringing some more people?
They kind of put the kibosh on that today. Listen, here's the bottom line, and Paige will tell you this. Bro, you got to understand something. They got to sell 100,000 seats 2 nights in a row. That's a lot of tickets. So Vince is going to do whatever he has to do to put butts in seats. But I think today, bro, we kind of find out where he kind of gave McAfee a match at WrestleMania, but he was no part of it. That was no part of the interview today with McAfee. So it'll probably be Austin Theory, which that scares me too, bro. I mean, Austin Theory is still a little green. McAfee's not really a wrestler. I mean, that's a little, I don't know what that's going to look like. But, bro, the bottom line is, man, Vince is a promoter. He's got to put butts in seats, and whatever it takes, he's going to do.
Now, do you think that Theory's being used as a red herring, though?
And Vince is going to wrestle?
And Vince is the one. Like, he looks at, he does Theory. He just sows the seeds. He misdirects, and they do one of those mumble segments.
I hope.
And all of a sudden, he steps up and says, well, you know.
Well, I hope. Now, listen, let's be honest, bro. He's Vince McMahon. I understand that. He's still a 76-year-old man. the risk of him getting hurt, bro, I don't think is worth it. That's
But
my
you know,
opinion.
Vince would rather die in the ring, though, man. You know, he would do it for the company. Paige, what do you think?
I got to ask Vince a question first. Vince, I've heard, and tell me if I'm wrong, I've heard that they cut that they were selling just half the building. Are they selling seats all around?
Oh, absolutely. They're
Really?
looking to sell 200,000 tickets. Absolutely. Yes. Yes.
Wow.
They're about halfway there, Paige. They got about 100,000 sold for the 2 nights. They got another 100 to go.
Well, I got to tell anybody who's listening right now that right across the street, guaranteed on Sunday, it might happen on Saturday, Ric Flair's Woo Party, which me and Jake will be there. Right, literally, my buddy Chris Randolph has a barbecue place that's across the street. He does across the street from the stadium. Like, park your car, come down and party with us starting at 3 o'clock. And he puts 1,500 people for his tailgate party every Sunday the Dallas Cowboys play. And I think it's go to, if you just look up, because I can't remember our exact website. I think it's VIPsportsgetaway.com, and you'll see them up there. And it's like, it's an open, they got the best barbecue on the planet. They got free beer and booze. There's going to be bands, and me, Rick, and Jake are going to be there. And they got top shelf too. They got a whole thing for VIP top shelf, open bar, all the top shelf booze. So that's going to be a hell of a party. And so going in, I heard, and I'm glad you corrected me, that they were only selling half the building because it didn't make sense. I walked out there the last time they were in Dallas. They invited me to be the surprise guest for the Andre. Royal. And walking out there and seeing that place full. And I got a little picture somewhere around here, and I'm about this big in it, throwing up the diamond cutter, and my buddy had the shot of it. And you see, like, maybe 20,000 people of the 101,000, 70% of them throwing up their hands. It was really an amazing sight.
That's awesome.
Wow, 200,000 people, just having 200,000 in town that all got tickets, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, they're doing like 2 first. They're doing like 2 first and package tickets too. So one person can buy like 2 tickets at a discounted rate.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because I just thought the cost of the building, I mean, Ben, the cost of the building, the cost of production, the cost of the crew, all of that, like, wow. But hey, man, I hope they get it because you know what? We can across the street.
Yeah.